Hey guys and gals, I really hope that you enjoyed the shoulder mobility routines that we gave you to really focus on shoulder health. Continue to do those as you go on with your training. This week we're going to give you some lower body movements and exercises and stretches to help you with lower back pain and knee issues. So Tony, how are we going to do that?
Okay. Well, if people want to be more active, especially in the outdoors, but they have limits because of maybe some knee or back problems, chances are they're not using their hips properly. So we're going to work on hip mobility, hip stability, hip strength, hip coordination. So we'll give you a few drills. Once you get your hips working a lot better, the back and knees usually thank you.
Awesome. Well, let's check these out. And if you have any questions, please contact us at wildernessathlete.com. So Tony, I'm a weightlifting guy. I go to the gym. I do squats, front squats, leg press. Why do I need to worry about all these little unilateral movements?
Nothing wrong with squats. They're a good foundational movement. But if you're doing a lot of machine work and you're doing double legs all the time, you develop these big imbalances. One side becomes lazy, one side becomes tight. The lunge is something you use in everyday life. It's the most important thing. If you don't want to do lunges, you need to move to a planet without gravity. Because we all need to lunge in some way or another.
Tony, why is the lunge the most functional move that you can do for being an outdoorsman?
Okay. It is so functional because everything we do as an outdoorsman, if you're climbing over something, you're going uphill, downhill. It's what we call unilateral. Most of your balance or weight might be on one leg. You're constantly shifting stances. And the lunge is probably one of the most important movements you can do to prepare yourself to be active in the outdoors. It's also the movement that is critical for an infant and toddler when they're first developing their motor skills.
So we want me to get into a...
Yes, let's just do a lunge here. Start with a wide stance. Okay. Now we'll go a little bit wider. Good. We want to go about shoulder width. Now take a big step out. Now this is where most people make their first mistake. Okay, go ahead and back to the beginning here, Jesse. A lot of times when people step out, they'll step forward and in and not realize it because they're tight in the front of their hips. And when they do this, I'll say, hey, could you please widen your hips? They'll look down and see this space here and they say, oh, my hips are wide. What you've got to do is look at it from this angle, from the front. Okay, so take a step out and just stop. Stop there. Now another mistake people made, you'll see them leaning forward all the time because they're so tight in front of the back hip here. I want to look straight ahead. Now slowly drop down and then slowly come back up. A lot of people will also have balance and coordination issues in that foot and ankle. See, I'm making you take your weight up in your back foot more than your front. Makes it a little more awkward and clumsy. We want awkward and clumsy. That's the purpose of the exercise. When we do this exercise, we're going to wake up what we call the posterior chain, strengthen the back of the hip muscles. We're going to stretch the muscles in front of the hip, and we're also going to work a lot on our balance and agility, especially in the intricate muscles of our foot and ankle.
Percentage-wise, how much weight are you supposed to put on your front foot compared to your back foot?
Excellent question. It's dynamic. It's always changing. Okay, so all depends. When you're out in the woods and climbing, you got to be able to change very quickly how much weight is on the back and then the front and transfer and what we call transition. So that's why when we lunge, I really want to make it challenging but not impossible. So you have to work those small intrinsic muscles of your foot and ankle. Look up again. And now see how the toe and ankle muscles are waking up. We're waking up the hip muscles back here. We're getting a great stretch in the front of the hip here. Okay, and then come back up. All right, so just go slow, deliberate, and work on that alignment. Alignment from the front, so you're squared off here, not narrow. From the side, make sure you're not leaning, bending forward.
Now, if you have someone who can't do a lunge properly already, what's a beginner move that they can do just to get started?
I got the perfect thing for you. Go ahead and take one knee here, just like you're in football. Okay. Take this little medicine ball, grab it. Now, I want to make this challenging, not impossible. So move this foot over so it's not quite in front of your knee. Maybe just an inch or two shy, a little bit more. Good, now make sure you maintain a really good posture here. A lot of people will be bent over because they're so tight in the front of the thigh and this back leg. So really straighten up. And when you straighten up, you want to make sure you don't arch your back, because all of a sudden, oh, this hurts my back. What you want to do is just kind of thrust the hips forward, and you'll feel, oh, wow, I feel a lot of tightness in here. I want the foot over here to kind of make it a balancing issue. You're working on what we call proprioception. Okay, we're working our core, we're working the intrinsic muscles in the foot and ankle, we're working everything. And now just kind of move the medicine ball right and left a little bit, up and to the right, up and to the left. This makes it awkward, clumsy, challenging. It really works your core, works the proprioception, that is the coordination and balance in your ankle and toes, teaches you not to use your back. By not letting the knee go past the foot, now we're protecting the knee as well. So this is what I do for my beginners. They maybe do 10 reps or just do this for 30 seconds. Do it a couple times each side and just work on alignment.
And for the more advanced, start with lunges. What would be a good set rep range for?
Once they perfect good alignment and posture with their lunge, they could do walking lunges, step-up lunges, single leg lunges. They could do 3 sets of 8 to 12, be perfect. And do that 3 times a week.